AOC is being exposed. She's made some radical claims. She's made some, in regards to what happened at the Capitol on January 6th. She's, claiming this, claiming that she was hiding. She was in her bathroom in the Capitol. And then now she's being exposed by Jack Posobiec, and all of Twitter is seeing it and ratioing her. And it's kind of embarrassing because it's like, what are you doing? Like, if you're going to make some claims like that, at least, make sure they're kind of like going to add up. Maybe these people aren't just like ready for people to actually call them out and expose them for the frauds that they actually are. But here's AOC explaining her traumatic experience of January 6th, 2021. Let's take a look.
And then I just start to hear these yells of, "Where is she? Where is she?" And I just thought to myself, they got inside. I mean, I thought I was going to die. As I'm hiding in this bathroom, hearing these yells of these men, or just just one man going, "Where is she? Where is she?" I start to look through the door hinge to see if I can see anything. And there's like a door here and there's like another door here. So I'm like trying to look through two door hinges. And so I look through this door hinge and I see this white man in a black beanie bump, just like.
Good job, AOC. Yeah, good job, emphasizing white man. It's like, okay, we got it. We know you hate white people, all right?
Open the door of my personal office and come inside the personal office and yell again, "Where is she?" And I have never been quieter in my entire life. I was just, I don't even know if I held my breath, but I was just, here behind there, and I just start sliding down. And then all of a sudden I hear my staffer G yell out. And he's like, hey, it's okay. Come out. So I'm like, I don't know, so deeply rattled. I'm still processing the end of my life when
yeah, I'm so traumatized, and I'm just gonna laugh about it like it's a funny thing because I almost died. It's like, dude, how are we supposed to take you serious? That's something to laugh about? It's hard to feel sorry for people like this. It's like, oh yeah, it's this traumatic experience. It's like, what? Psycho.
Come out. And I come out, and this man is a Capitol Police officer. But the story doesn't end.
Cue the Curb Your Enthusiasm music. Okay.
It's a Capitol Police officer. There was no partner. Was not yelling, Capitol Police, etc., etc. But then it didn't feel right. Because he was looking at me with a tremendous amount of anger and hostility. And things weren't adding up. Like, there was no partner there. And no one was yelling. He wasn't yelling like, "This is Capitol Police, this is Capitol Police." And he was looking at me in all of this anger and hostility. And at first, in my brain and in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I just came from this super intense experience just now. Maybe I'm reading into this, right? Like, maybe I'm projecting, like something onto him that like, maybe I'm just seeing anger, but maybe he's not trying to be angry. But I talked to G, my legislative director, after the fact, and he said, no, I didn't know if he was there to help us or hurt us either. And G was actually like, this man came with so much hostility that that G was sizing him up and didn't know if he was going to have to fight him. Like that is how like aggressive the situation was in that moment. And we couldn't.
Does she like think that the more she like opens her eyeballs, the more that we're going to believe her? It's like the wider her eyes get, like the more believe me. It's like, I guess that works with like mindless lemmings on the left. Like, oh yeah, yes, AOC, we believe you. Every single word that you are saying is truth. Oh my God.
Couldn't even tell. We couldn't read if like this was a good situation or a bad situation. It was so like, you know, like so many other communities in this country, like just that presence doesn't necessarily give you a clear signal if you're safe or not. And so the situation did not feel okay. And then he just looks at me and yells at me, and he just go down and then go to this other building.
Oh my gosh, dude, you cannot make this stuff up, bro. And he just looks at me and yells at me and tells me to go to the other building. Okay, like you guys are saying that this, you know, what happened on January 6th was, you know, pretty crazy, and, you know, the Capitol got stormed, it got breached, politicians had to be escorted, you know, under the building, they had to be hidden, people got shot, people died that day. You know, it's pretty interesting. She's, you know, saying that all these crazy things are happening, and it's like, so do you not understand, AOC, that police that day are definitely going to be on edge? It's a very, very, very high intensity situation. That day was pretty crazy in DC. It wasn't a normal day in Washington, DC. So, I mean, police officers are all on edge. They're all trying to probably make sure where everyone's at. It's still their responsibility, even though you advocate for defunding the police. Here you are, you know, complaining that the police aren't protecting you well enough. But, you know, we'll get to that in a little bit. But AOC is a hypocrite. They're still doing their jobs, looking to protect these politicians. And it's funny because she clearly in her own story states that she got it wrong. Oh, they got into the building. They got into the building, and I'm hiding, and I'm hiding, and I'm hiding. And then someone comes, and it's a white man with a black beanie. And he was a police officer. It's like, yeah, you got it wrong. Way off. It was a hostile environment. See, but the problem is, here's the problem. The problem is her story doesn't add up in certain aspects. She's claiming that where her office is located was breached. But that's not true. Let's get this article up, TatumReport.com. You guys can check this out at the TatumReport.com. One of the trending stories on the website. Near-death experience, AOC was not in the Capitol Dome building. Hashtag Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett. That's trending on Twitter right now, by the way. You can go check that out. Alexandria Sandy Cortez just came out as a sex abuse survivor in a tearful Instagram video on Monday night. Then she accused Republicans of using abusers' tactics after sharing her horrific experience in the U.S. Capitol as a mob of Trump supporters stormed her hall and threatened her. She was forced to hide in the bathroom in that near-death experience. And those awful terrorists were screaming, "Where is she?" It appears, though, that AOC was not actually in the Capitol at the time, but rather hiding in her office in the Cannon building. It's a complete separate building other than the Capitol building, which is connected to the Capitol by a tunnel, but was not breached. People have been posting maps showing the distance between the Cannon building and the Capitol to show that Ocasio-Cortez was not in danger, and she's pushing back. So here's a tweet from Jack Posobiec. Dude, they've been going back and forth all day long, and it's hilarious. Let me pull these up. This is what she says. This is the latest manipulative take on the right. They're manipulating the fact that most people don't know the layout of the Capitol complex. We were all on the Capitol complex. The attack wasn't just on the dome. That's when you see in movies, for some of you that haven't been to DC, when you see in movies the big dome, you see the whole Capitol, it kind of looks like the White House, kind of, right? For people that don't, really understand the geographics and everything there. That's the major big Capitol building. But there's other buildings surrounding the Capitol. She's claiming that the attack wasn't just on the dome where the Capitol building is. She's saying that other buildings were breached as well, including where her office was. The bombs Trump supporters planted surrounded our offices too. She's claiming that Trump supporters planted bombs around her office. I don't think we've seen any evidence to suggest that as of now. So here's a map that Jack Posobiec tweeted. There's the U.S. Capitol, if you guys can see this. And then down here, the bottom right, that is where her office is. That is where AOC's office is on the bottom right. So up here's the Capitol. See, there's the famous building, the big dome. She's claiming that the attacks on that day weren't just here. The breaches, she's saying, weren't just here. She's saying the breaches were down here too. Okay? That's what she's saying. This far away, she's saying that people were breaching these buildings too. We haven't seen any evidence to suggest that yet. So Jack Posobiec has been fact-checking her all day long, and it's pretty hilarious because they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and she got ratioed on Twitter as well. A lot of people are, tweeting at her. Even Representative Nancy Mace, she kind of like pushed back and said this on Twitter: "My office is 2 doors down. Insurrectionists never stormed our hallway. Egregious doesn't even begin to cover it. Is there nothing MSM won't politicize?" And here's where, Newsweek published this. Ocasio-Cortez said that rioters actually entered her office, forcing her to take refuge into her bathroom after her legislative director, Geraldo, Chavez, told her to hide, run, and hide. This is Newsweek. This isn't like, Daily Wire or anything. As members of the mob banged against the door, Ocasio-Cortez believed this was the moment where I thought everything was over. She was clearly portraying that rioters were storming the building she was in and attempting to breach her office. But her office isn't connected to the Capitol. The Capitol was being breached, not the building her office is in. And even Rep. Nancy Mace comes out and says, yeah, my office is like right next to hers. Rioters didn't storm that building. So now everyone on Twitter is accusing her of being like Juicy Smollett. How does Dave Chappelle, Juicy Smollett, right? Staging, I got attacked and this and that and da-da-da-da, and people are just, look at the hashtag Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett assumes that actor Jussie Smollett wasn't attacked. It's the same thing. They're just trolling her. She's getting trolled and she's getting exposed. There's tons of tweets that are exposing what she's trying to say. And she's trying to make the Capitol riots about herself.